For the last 20 years, best-selling author Dr. Rita Louise has been shedding light on some of the world's most shrouded mysteries. A leading and respected medical intuitive, she is known for getting to the root of any problem. Today, Dr. Rita is going to share her discoveries with you. And now, where science and spirit meet.
The feel and nature of an intuitive experience confuses many people. There is a generalized belief, for example, that when someone is communicating with their spirit guides, they will hear a loud, booming voice that will share with him or her the secrets of the universe. It is often assumed that these spiritual entities will talk directly to the individual. Their communications are thought to come from an external source in the same way we engage in a conversation with a friend. Likewise, it is also believed that when someone has a clairvoyant experience, such as seeing a ghost in a room, the otherworldly presence would be observable with our physical eyes. This is not the case when talking about intuition. Intuition is a felt or perceived sense. It is something we experience on bodily levels or by altering our focus and point of view. It is not something that necessarily comes from the outside, but can be better likened to a shift, a change in our very being. It can manifest as a thought, an inspiration, an internal communication, or a vision. Human beings are designed to send, receive, and process information from the world around us. As senders, we broadcast our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and emotions out into the ethers. These broadcasts can be picked up or received by anyone who chooses to tune into them. The intuitive experience occurs when we begin to interpret or process the information that is received. This can be accelerated as we learn to recognize what different energy vibrations feel like or look like to us. That is the intuitive experience. Vibrational energy that is transmitted out into the universe is subtle in nature. Unfortunately, we have not been taught to recognize it, decipher it, and utilize it in our lives. If we do perceive it, we often ignore it, invalidate it, assume it is our imagination, or minimize its implications. Are you one of the many people who long to tap into your intuitive abilities? What many people don't realize is that we already have everything we need to access this inner wisdom. It is not a matter of opening ourselves up or expanding our chakras, although this does support our effort. Instead, it is about paying attention. By paying attention to the subtle shifts in our perception, the passing thought, the stray insight, we are well on our way to tapping into our intuition on a regular basis. You may find yourself saying, "I'm not intuitive." But as you hear the following example, you might find that this or something similar has happened to you. Imagine it's a bright sunny day. You're driving down the road and for some unexplainable reason, you get the strange feeling that someone is watching you. Instinctively, you glance out your left car window. To your surprise, in the car next to you, riding in the back seat, is a child of 5 or 6 looking your way. She smiles and waves at you as you make eye contact. This is an illustration of someone receiving, reacting, and responding to the subtle energy they have encountered. Confused? Understanding what just happened and why it actually is an intuitive experience is simple, if you know the dynamics of subtle energy. The little girl was sending subtle energy. She was broadcasting her energy out into the universe and was directing it at you. You, in turn, experienced her broadcast as a change to your internal systems. It made you feel uneasy, unusual, or perhaps uncomfortable. In response to what you sensed, you, without thinking, looked up and over to the source of your discomfort. the smiling and now waving little girl. This is just one example of your intuition at work. You may view instances like these as strange synchronicities, but you may also discover that you have had countless experiences like this in the past. Here is another instance of intuition in action. Picture this. It's first thing in the morning and you're getting ready for work. A thought flashes through your mind as you prepare to walk out the door. The transient thought says, maybe I should take a sweater. Instead of acting on the seemingly insignificant tidbit of information, you let your cognitive mind take over. You look outside and see that it is a bright, sunny day. Why do I need a sweater on such a glorious day, you say to yourself, and leave the sweater home. Later that day, you unexpectedly find yourself called into a meeting. The room in which the meeting is being held is ice cold. As you shiver, you wish you had listened to yourself and brought the sweater with you to work. You might even find yourself saying, God, I should have listened to myself this morning. Could you see your intuition working in this situation? If not, this is what happened. You had an intuitive insight presented. You were guided to take your sweater with you to work that day. It really is that simple. The hardest part of the process is listening to and trusting our perceptions. In this situation, you didn't listen to yourself and your inner knowing. Instead of beating yourself up, use it as an opportunity to validate and acknowledge your experience. You did have an intuitive experience that morning. Once you start acknowledging these events and recognizing them as intuitive experiences, it is only a matter of time before you start grabbing that sweater before you run out the door. With practice, you will begin to trust what you receive. It will also allow you to become more proactive in the direction your life takes. If you really want to tap into your intuition, stop waiting for a booming voice to tell you what to do. Stop hoping for the clouds to part and the answers to all your problems to magically appear. It will never happen. The answers you are looking for are not outside yourself and never were. Turn your focus inside. Pay attention to the synchronicities in your life. Instead of saying to yourself, wow, that was weird, replace it with, I just had an intuitive experience. This will make your intuition grow and your ability to trust what you receive flourish.